The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Friday, the 11th day of March, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. It's Sherry's favorite day of the week. That's why she's out here dancing, folks. I mean, if she doesn't like us, she can just let us know.
I love you guys. However, I'm excited that it's Friday. Come on, Jamal. Show people that you could be a little bit loose.
Oh, I could do the Hartman bumps, you know what I'm saying? Little Hartman shaking.
Talk about seasoned.
You're all in favor. You're for that. But hey, you know, Friday is. That just means we give the folks 2 days without us. And yeah, I'm sure they enjoy time off from you. I mean, but look, hey, let's get to the show. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one to close out the traditional work week as Helen and Sandra Thornhill stop by to discuss Brain Injury Month. So very important conversation here because it's not something I thought about in regular conversation or considered. I always think of brain injury as something sports related or accident, but I'm glad that we have these two professionals on, two people who have experience with this to have an important conversation. The Daily Play is Sherry trying to get me. You know how this normally works out, folks. She tries to trick me. But Sherry, look, real quickly before we get into today's conversation. So I made my like a tickety talk thing on TikTok. You know that TikTok that people.
Who is seasoned here? TikTok. It's not tickety talk. It's TikTok.
But you know what I meant, right?
Like a uncle.
I wonder if Leanna has TikTok, but you know, she's the youngest in the family. But no, I made a TikTok video last week. I'm still getting the hang of it, right? I've only made like 6 and whatever. But I shared. I made. You can't see it, but this is my ginger, lemon, and
turmeric,
right? And someone sent me a message asking me my recipe. Well, folks, don't do that. Don't do that. The recipe is lemons, turmeric, and ginger. Don't ask me how much stuff I put in these things. It's lemon, turmeric, ginger, and a juicer. But you're asking
you just eyeball it. That's it.
I'm like, look, I don't work in nobody's kitchen or anything. So no, folks, I literally just got it was 10 lemons, 2 different cartons of turmeric, and two handfuls of ginger, and juiced it. And it's basically I used to do this all the time, but my mom, you know, we were traveling to Bermuda during my mom's illness. I hadn't been able to juice, so and everyone knows me. I'm famous for this is what I would do before the show religiously, and I was having serious stomach pains last week, so I went back to it, and I'm good, folks.
I love juicing, Jamal.
Yeah,
I love juicing.
I don't
Jack
mind.
LaLanne. I have an Earl juicer like Jack LaLanne juicer.
It doesn't surprise me. You have anything?
Listen, move on.
Yeah, but no. I won't say that, but you know. I love juicing, Sherry. It's the cleaning up part. It's the cleaning up part.
Really?
Yeah. Man, you've seen how yellow turmeric turns your stuff? Man.
Yeah, and if you did beets before.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get in all sorts of trouble. But real quickly, Leanna's probably going to touch on it a bit more in her news, but did wake up to the news that whenever Trevor Lindsay goes live overnight, and you wake up and you see a notification that he went live, you know it's nothing good. Apparently, there
Yeah.
was a shooting at a local sports club in Bermuda overnight, and Leanna, I believe, will bring you more details on that. Thankfully, I don't believe either of the individuals it's life threatening. So,
Hmm.
um, those are the conversations we don't want to have on this show. Unfortunately, we just keep having them. So, folks, if you
Yeah.
know something, say something. But we've got to stop that. This morning, though, we did. It was confirmed yesterday that we lost former MP Darius Tucker. And I want to say something. The entire time the news, and I'm not going to call outlets because pretty much all of them were doing it,
Hmm.
and it's just lazy journalism. I'm going to call it what it is. And you all know I don't like criticizing others in the same space, but they kept saying former UBP MP who also served in the OBA. And I'm like, no, I don't think he did. I think he went over to the PLP. But I say lazy journalism because you want to accurately depict people, right?
Right.
And but neither that's not the topic today. The topic is, I saw a community come together in trying to help or find Mr. Tucker. I saw people, trying to figure out what could have happened.
Right.
Everything that has been said about Mr. Tucker as the nicest man um, they've ever met, like always smiling and so on. But there was a concern, and I'm going to go to the Royal Gazette for this. His friend, former member of Parliament, Maxwell Burgess, said he had been deeply angered by comments on social media speculating on the circumstances of Mr. Tucker's death. He said, people must cease and desist from what I am hearing and seeing on social media and the like. It is not a matter for them as to how he met his end or the reason why. I find it repulsive that people would do this. His wife and his two sons do not deserve what I'm seeing and hearing, and I would urge the community to think of them. And so the
Yeah.
question of the morning is really, folks, very easy. How can we become a more sensitive community? Because I think in the age of information, we've already spoken about people want to be first, right? I put up a post yesterday. Let me read it because it involves all of you. But I put up a post, Sherry. I don't know if you saw it. It was on WhatsApp status, and it said it was from someone on Twitter at SHL. Said people underrate how much of building an audience at the start happens one
Mm,
by one. Stop trying to go viral and help the people around you out.
I did
How
see
do
that.
how do we become a more sensitive community? Because I think when things happen, I mean, to do it via text, like if Sherry and we don't do this, honestly, we don't. Like we're very like literally, folks. What you got with us is what you see. Like she don't even, Jamel, did you see it? When I send it, or Sherry, you saw that one. Like that's just a respect level, right? But I say that because we have this thing where we want so much more information that's being told for whatever reason to satisfy whatever intrigue we have, but it comes across when we go on social media as insensitive. So how can we become a more sensitive community when something happens, like a shooting at a local club last night, or someone is missing, or someone is found unresponsive or dead? Like, how do we get there?
Jamal, it just annoys me, this whole conversation, right? Because we tend to want to be first, and in situations of, what's just happened, with the former MP. We tend to want to be first when it comes to accidents and all of this. Who's going to be first about this shooting? Nobody. you know and we tend to forget what's important and what needs to be put out there in front. We're in a society that everybody wants to be first, everybody wants to go viral and all of this, and it doesn't help that we are a small community and the rumor mill just goes. You can't even post a picture without somebody saying, oh, I saw you, when it could have been something last week.
Mhm.
and I know I'm rambling. It's just annoying. It's just
No.
annoying because we constantly have this conversation, and it doesn't hit home until it's right in your doorstep. It's
Mhm.
right when your family member, has an accident or something, and it's plastic, and all of a sudden it's a problem. Why
Mhm.
can't it be a problem for my family member when you do it?
Mm.
Or it's just like, oh, I'm trying to do information. Be conscious of what it is that you are discussing. Be
Mm.
conscious about what it is that you're forwarding. And
Mm.
Jamal's right. Be like, have you heard? And then I'm quickly to say, I can't confirm that this is true.
Mhm.
Hence, I'm not putting it in a group chat because I can't confirm it.
But
Because
thank you for saying that about the group chat, because even still, like, there'll be some group chats where people might say, you know what, I'm not going to put this in the group. Let me send it to someone on the side just to find out, hey, is this true? If you know about this, so on. But I want to go to the comments. Again, the question of the morning, how can we become a more sensitive community?
and somebody you trust, Jamal, because you can't even
Correct.
forward it always to, Jamal knows I'll delete something in a minute.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, especially those good compliments she gives me. Nicole Kane says, just because you think does not mean you have to express it on social media. So just because you think it doesn't mean you have to express it on social media. But I think, look, let's be honest. Most of us post on social media for engagement, right?
Mhm.
If we're not posting on social media for engagement, we're literally just talking to ourselves.
Mhm.
Let's be honest. If we know that we're posting on social media for engagement, why not post? Like, I'll give you an example. So I posted something um the last 2 days on Facebook. I don't spend much time on Facebook anymore, right? I just can't, and I'm going to be very direct right now. I cannot take Facebook like I used to, so I don't post on there often. So I posted on Facebook 2 days ago, and look, I'm catching Sherry up in age, so I can't remember things like I used to. So
You're something else, grumpy uncle.
I'm sorry.
Facebook's for grumpy uncle, Sheena.
Yeah. But so what I posted, I said, I hope anyone in my life who may be going through something and needs a listening ear or someone to chat with understands that if nothing else, I'm just a WhatsApp or phone call away, expressed with love, right? I said that.
Mhm.
2 people decided to respond to that, one saying it's not that easy. I deleted the comment, and I'll explain why after. Another person wrote, yes, but some people just want to hear your problems. I deleted that too. Why did I delete it? I'm going to explain to you why I deleted it. I don't go on people's Facebook posts and write stuff, I don't go on people's Facebook posts and argue with them. None of that stuff. I can
Mhm.
probably tell you in the last 10 years, and people search it. In the last 10 years, I've probably gone on somebody's Facebook post once or twice to debate, and it probably had something to do with conscription or black men.
Mhm.
Why? Because I have my own page. If I want to make a point, that's what I'll do. So then yesterday, I wrote another post. Again, 2 days. The last post I wrote before that was February 24th, right? So yesterday, I wrote, when I bought my car 2 years ago, it was $30 to $35 to fill up. I then said the same car costs $63 to fill up today. For some reason, I'm not mad or angry. While I'd rather not spend so much on gas, I understand that there are bigger problems in the world than what I'm paying at the pump. Life.
Mhm.
Someone writes, first comment, you also have to remember all of us are here paying more than double what you're paying. Let me just say,
The cost of living, folks. Like, seriously. Okay, yeah, Jamal.
well, you said, okay, folks, honestly, it goes back to her comment about just because you think it doesn't mean you need to post it.
Mhm.
Because that right there, okay, you obviously get my point, but it's relative. It's relative. Bermudians for years have bragged about how much they make versus their U.S. counterparts.
Right.
Bragged about, oh, only making 40,000. But then they come here and they purchase, the cheaper goods and so on and take them back to Bermuda. Right? Folks, it's relative. I cannot for the life of me understand why a Bermudian would think or say, oh, people in the US complain about gas prices, it's this much. First off, my job is the length of Bermuda from my house. Point being, you're not driving as far in Bermuda or probably as often.
Yeah.
That's number one. So you probably won't need gas like we would need. Number two, the cost of living, as Sherry mentioned, folks, it's not like, think before you type. So I don't want to get off track.
I was going to try to pull you back. I was like, that's probably enough.
What she's saying is think before you post it. Think about it. Like, everyone's so quick to, you see a post on social media, you just want to respond to it. You see something in the news, you just want to write about it. You have to share your opinion. I've learned this, folks. I've learned it. Trust me.
I would say that, Jamal, I would tend to disagree with you in regards to the first one, in regards to the WhatsApp phone call and somebody making a comment and saying, maybe some doesn't want to express their problems. If you sit back and I don't know the whole comment, there might have been an opportunity for you to reach out to that person.
Nobody said that, though. Nobody said that.
What was it that he
Nobody
said?
said that. What both women said, one woman said, it's not that easy. For one, Sherry, you don't know what I'm talking about. It was a general statement. You think I'm talking about something. You won't even ask, oh, Jamal, what is this about? So my point is, there's no need to respond to a post when you're assuming things. This is why I don't respond to social media posts. I'm not assuming what you think. And that's what the point that Maxwell Burgess is making about Mr. Tucker.
Right.
Is people have this thought of what may have taken place, and they start running with things on social media. It's unfair to his family. It's unfair to him, and it's unfair to the community. So the other comment was going on about, oh, people just want to be nosy, and that has nothing to do with my post. And if you feel that way, go make your own.
But isn't it at the same token that you put it out there, people have a right to comment, then take the comment?
No. I love the late Laverne Ferbert. We fought like cats and dogs. We went back and forth, right? But at the end of the day, the only right you have is to scroll on by. And I used to always say to Miss Ferbert, you don't have to accept every invitation to an argument.
Yeah.
And so for me is, nah, bro, don't bring. The bottom line is the point of me about this post. I'm not dealing with your energy this year, folks. I've said it numerous times. I've said it numerous times on different platforms. I'm not dealing with nobody's energy that isn't what I want in my life. That, like, I've taken hold of that. So if you come on my post with negativity, then peace out. Peace out. No, that's not what the post is about. And it's not about agreeing.
Right. I still have a different perception of that.
No, and that's your right. That's your right. But I'm not going on. I'm not. If you come write some post on your page about what parents need to do better, I'm not going on your page to respond with a statement. If anything, I'm going to ask a question, and that's the difference. I'm not taking oh, well, you're wrong because of this. I don't know beyond what you've typed. And that's part of the problem that we're faced with, is people are going on there, oh, this probably happened, or, oh, this, then. No, it's disrespectful, as Tanya Cheeseman said.
No, it is disrespectful, definitely, in the two different contexts to me, in regards to your statement and then in regard to what people are saying. It's mixed matched in that sense. If you're just talking in general about just needing a listening ear and someone says it's not that easy, for me, don't take on whatever else is going on. What are you particularly talking about? Because I'm not talking about just what happened in regard to somebody passing away and attaching that. would have separated that situation for me in my response, no matter what it is that they were trying to insinuate. You see what I'm saying? And
I
yes, it's
see
been.
what you're saying. Again, I completely disagree because you don't know what the post is about, and it's no different from the whole what Maxwell Burgess is saying. Instead of speculating with your opinion or comment, why don't you hit somebody up on the side and ask? I'm not into. I know what happens when we assume. I just recently did it in my day job. I don't want to be in
I
the
don't even
business.
know if you can even ask somebody about that. You know what? You know what I mean? And even speculate or ask. Like once the information comes out, then you take that. I don't even think I'll be hitting up somebody and say, "Hey, what happened to him? What was the?" You know what I mean? It's
We
just
shouldn't.
insensitive
We shouldn't
all
care.
over.
We shouldn't
Yeah,
care.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's very insensitive.
But again, the point. Sometimes we just need to scroll on by and
Yeah,
keep it to ourselves. And back to Nicole Kane's comment. Just because you think it does not mean you need to post it. Like literally
absolutely.
scroll on by. Sam Cat Place has a comment sharing.
Rest in peace, my former neighbor friend. Unfortunately, sensitivity has gone out the window. It's the age of no holds barred, and we criticize lack of con- condicity. Did I say that right?
And
So
Jason.
it's a catch-22 in these matters that strike home.
Yeah. She also goes on, thank you for posting what you did, Jamal. It was very heartfelt. I had some friend reach out to me as well. You just have a note, ignorant people. Shayna Smith says, I won, is that 10,000? I 10,000 agree. 10,000% agree about Facebook, Jamal. I can't no more. I have zero energy for meaningless discourse. Look, at the end of the day, Twitter, I love because I love to know how people think, especially young people. I don't respond to everything. I don't understand every comment. So I let things roll. There are times on Twitter I'll side message. And that's how I learn about a lot of stuff because I have those relationships with people that I follow. I'll say, what was this about? And when you find out, you're like, good thing you didn't write anything because it's much more to it than what's on the surface.
Right.
I think we need to really ask ourselves, why are we so interested in the things that we're interested in? Why are we so interested in how someone passed away? I think one of the most disrespectful things that someone wrote on my page in January about my mother when she passed was asking, was it from COVID? Man, if this
who's that person, Jamal?
Trust me, she's gone. She's gone. But that to me was one of the most disrespectful things that to me really felt like, okay, Maxwell Burgess, thank you for saying it, but how can we change this?
And I'm mad you didn't tell me this last week when I was in Bermuda, but nevertheless,
they
nothing in right. We're putting the color purple.
They weren't.
But we just need to be more sensitive. We just need to, as you know, think before we post, and we don't have to respond to every post. And I think that's, and we just need to stop. There's so many times I'm typed something and said, hold on, let it rest for a minute and then I'll come back. In regards to just life emails, all of that, you know, and how somebody interprets it is also part of that.
But I think you live it though, Sherry. You live it. Like and folks, I'm not joking. Like when I say Sherry would not send me something, she would ask me about it. And even if I say no, she still want, like, she's probably one of the most conscious people who I engage with via WhatsApp. Like it's interesting. And that's what I'm saying. Like what she's speaking is she lives it. You know what I'm saying? Like she lives it.
I try. I failed sometimes, but I'm trying more.
Helen Stevenson Swan, she's asking, how did I honestly deleted the comment, and I honestly couldn't believe it. Now, and keep in mind, the person is based in the US and was a client of mine at one point, but I deleted it and was like, what would you, why does it matter how, like, yeah, it was. Let's bring Leanna in. I'm sure Lee has some.
I know she's probably back there saying time.
Yep. We're a bit behind time. Good morning, Lee. How are you, my sister? Well, it would help if you didn't do what you're not supposed to do, Lee.
Mute.
I don't think she knows she's on mute.
Jamal, stop muting me before I come on.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I mean, I only do that to Sherry, to be honest.
Yeah.
How are you, Lisa?
I'm good. I'm good. It's Friday. I'm with Sherry. I'm over here doing my little dance.
Oh, is that like the Lee shake or something?
It's never. It's the TDH
It's
shake.
Oh,
yeah, you
make
need to
that one.
get
Make
with
that one.
it.
Oh,
It's in the
Mhm.
shoulders, Mal. It's in the
Okay,
shoulders.
see,
I'm gonna
shoulders
take
there.
the shot since it's Friday.
What is that? Turmeric and ginger?
Nah.
Girl.
Lee, you want in on the conversation about sensitivity? I mean, you've been in news for years. You are one person when it comes to news, and folks, I told you last summer, Liana's not interested in breaking news and being first. It's time she's told me about stuff where I'm like, well, Lee, nothing's been reported. And then 2 hours later, it's reported.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
But you have the information. Why have you never been one to be interested in saying, let's break this? What is it about you that makes you different from some others that want to be just front up and center?
So main reason is because what I learned going through journalism school and understanding how media is. Yes, while we've developed a culture for always wanting to be first, fact checking is always important. And I have seen over the years a number of journalists have to recall their articles, or have to apologize for making statements that were just simply untrue because you hadn't waited on the official report. Now it's okay to state, and as you'll hear in my news report today, unofficial reports, but also just making sure that you clarify what it is, because if it's not been officially stated by the police service, fire service, or anybody of
Mm,
official standing, then you are subject to be entitled to scrutiny and also liability for
Mm.
reporting information that's just simply untrue.
mm,
So no, I don't wish to be first. I wish to get it right.
mm.
Ah,
I like that.
I felt that.
And honestly, I don't know about others, but I appreciate the manner in which she operates. It's needed. Our community
Mhm.
needs to operate on a level of integrity
Yeah.
and sensitivity. So, Lee,
And
thank you.
also just putting yourself in loved one's shoes. I mean, would
Yes,
you like to
empathy.
be on the receiving end of that if it was your person? So
Yes, that big word that Sherry just used, empathy, is a big one for me.
Mhm.
Let's get over to the news break. We have Helen Cart and Sandra Thornhill coming up, folks. This is another important conversation, so you know what to do. Stick with us. I know some of you, well, after your good friend Leanna's done with the news, you might want to head out and not be late to work. Tell your boss you were watching the Daily Hour. This is good information. All right, Lee, over to you.
thanks, Jamal and Sherry and TGIF, beautiful people. It is the final day of the traditional work week, and I hope you all are having a great start to another bright and beautiful day and are ready for the upcoming weekend. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily News Hour break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. In today's top stories, tributes have poured in from various dignitaries, community figures, and loved ones of former MP Darius Tucker. Now, police officially confirmed the death of 56-year-old Mr. Tucker yesterday. It was sadly found in his work vehicle overboard at Marginal Wharf in St. David's on Wednesday morning. Speaking on the tragic news, Premier David Burt said, quote, Darius was a warm, kind-hearted person and a genuinely down-to-earth individual. His untimely passing is immensely sad. His outgoing personality and incredible work ethic made him a welcome addition to the legislature, and the island is grateful for his public service, end quote. Detective Chief Inspector Sherwin Joseph said that the Bermuda Police Service expressed their deepest condolences to the wife and family of Mr. Tucker. The BPS has appointed a family liaison officer to the family to assist them during this difficult time. Now, Detective Joseph has once again appealed to anyone with CCTV in the St. David's area to please review their cameras from around 6:30 p.m. on Sunday, March 6th, and to please get in contact with police at your earliest convenience. In other news, residents in the Devonshire area awoke to another gun-related incident in the early hours of this morning. Now, unofficial reports are that 2 persons were injured in the shooting that allegedly took place near the Devonshire Recreational Club grounds in Pembroke just after midnight. Now, according to a TNN report, the individuals are said to be receiving treatment for their injuries at hospital, but their condition is unknown at this time. Now, we will keep you abreast as we receive official word from the Bermuda Police Service. And health officials last night revealed that the island has logged its first COVID-19 related death since February 21st. Now, the news brought the total number of fatalities from the pandemic to 124. There were 104 new cases recorded in the latest test results, making the active number of cases jump to 224. There are 10 people in hospital, but none are in the intensive care unit. There was one case that came in from overseas, with 32 that are classified as on-island transmission and 74 which are currently under investigation. There have been 62 recoveries since Monday. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 73 and a low near 68 degrees. A disintegrating weak front will press down from the north and bring increasing cloud cover and the chance of a few passing showers today. Now, Saturday then sees a brief improvement with brighter skies before becoming quite windy and unsettled in advance of a cold front, which is expected to cross over us early Sunday morning. This will entail cooler temperatures, which are anticipated in the front's wake. That's all for our daily hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right, so let's go to the days of the year real quickly, but I just want to touch on something that came through the news yesterday. But the days of the year real quick, I'm sure.
Today is taking pride in your middle name. So I'm going to challenge the audience to put their names in the chat. But today is your middle names were born as a means to commemorate older and often dead family members or godparents. However, many people don't know the meanings behind their middle names. And so today is the perfect day to get into a conversation with your parents as to why your middle name is what it is. What's your middle name, Liana?
Tiffany.
Jamal. Oh God, Marie is mine. I don't know why.
I wasn't sure if he was frozen just now.
He was frozen, all right.
That was my mom's. So I think my daddy. I think my daddy wanted me to be a junior because my middle names are his full name, pretty much. So Bridge wanted me to be Anthony Colvin out of Bridge Jr., but no, it's Jamal Anthony Colvin Hartman. And I don't tell you, honestly, there's someone here who will tell you nobody knows that second middle name. I do not use it. And so
it's okay. We'll talk to Daddy Hartman. That's all. I know him very well. We'll reach out to him and we'll find out what it is.
At least it's not Alice Maud was supposed to be my name.
Well, mine was supposed to be Geraldine, so thank God we didn't go that route.
my name was supposed to be Cockburn.
Oh my gosh!
It was supposed to be Cockburn, and that was my grandfather's middle name. And there's an island in Turks and Caicos called Cockburn, and I don't think I would have forgiven my parents because of the things I would have had to go through in school in Bermuda.
I was just about to say
they were pretty mean, so.
They saved you. They spared you from a childhood trauma that you would never recover from.
I should thank my mom when she told me, or be like, "Nah, player, the fact you thought about that. I know you were trying to pay tribute to a family member, but that probably weren't cool." But we are running out of time. But before we go, let you go, Liana, I just want to touch on Jussie Smollett, his situation. Jussie Smollett was the gentleman who accused 2 men of attacking him and having MAGA hats on. The reason I bring this up, and I'm not trying to crack jokes, I'm being dead serious, that these situations don't help us as a community. Because when you make false allegations, and even though he's still denying it, the evidence shows different. There were people when this first happened that were sending me messages on social media privately asking me, Jamal, why don't you unbelieve him? Because if it's one thing my parents raised me to do is to see through the BS.
Sherry, you did exactly what I wanted to do, was sip my tea just now. Good
There's
Lord.
absolutely nothing about that. And we as Black people, or if you're gay, or if you're whatever classification thing you classify yourself as, stop running and believe in everything you hear just because you want to and you agree with or you like or someone has some
Yeah.
similarity to you. Nothing about that story made me believe it. The brother needs help.
Mhm.
And it's
Preach,
not
G.
helpful to our community when there are people out there who are really being discriminated against and abused and attacked and assaulted. And then this happens. We've got to
Yeah.
do better. So I encourage anyone who supported that nonsense, do the right thing. Do the right thing, whatever that
All
is.
right.
Look, preach, GU, preach.
All right, Spike.
Leanna, we'll see you on Monday.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Bye,
Well,
Beth.
all right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We are a bit behind time, but we have some very important guests who do not go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break and be back. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors. And not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Salter's bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
Most of us acknowledge that there's something special about organic food. To be sure, organically grown foods are cleaner and devoid of toxic pesticides, genetic modification, antibiotics, and growth hormones. And reports that the flavors of these foods are accordingly bolder and more authentic surely resonate with lovers of good eats. Field Day is a producer of organics who deliver on these promises and ingeniously add affordability to the mix. Good news for us thrifty consumers. We're featuring Field Day Organic Grade A Maple Syrup. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Without further ado, let's bring in our guests for the day. We have Helen Cart and Sandra Thornhill. Welcome to the show, ladies. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please forgive us. Sometimes Sherry and Leanna talk so much that we go over time, but we are here. We are happy to have you, and we are thankful that you've trusted our platform for this conversation. So let's jump right into it. Just how, if you don't mind, and I'll start with Ms. Thornhill. Just explain who you are and what you do, so the audience is familiar.
I'm a physiotherapist, and I work in a private setting in the community, and I work with individuals who've had injury pertaining to neurological or issues. People with stroke, people with traumatic brain injury, people with Parkinson's disorder. There are not many of us in the field doing that, right? But this is what I love doing. And I also treat across the lifespan. My passion is working with children, infants, and so getting them on to a better physical well-being.
All righty, thank you, and that's good to know. And folks, I heard something in there. What she said. There's not a lot of people in the field. We have a lot of young Bermudians saying that they're going away to school to study things. We have to look at what's needed in our community. So thank you for that, Ms. Thornhill. And Helen Cart, what's your role in brain injury awareness?
I'm not a medical professional. I'm just a mom who got that call that most parents dread, and was kind of thrown in the deep end with my son, who suffered a severe traumatic brain injury last year. So what we're looking to do, my fiance and I set up a Facebook group called the Bermuda TBI Caregivers for their families and support network, with the aim to raise awareness on the injury itself, share knowledge and resources, and provide online support and encouraging words for the survivors and their family and caregivers throughout the entire sort of journey, their entire TBI journey, really.
Interesting. And sorry to hear that, that's how you got involved. What is Brain Injury Awareness Month, and why is it important for us to know about this?
I mean, the CDC allocates March as Brain Injury Awareness Month. That is the official month what we recognize it. The color is green. Really, the point of having Brain Injury Awareness Month is to promote awareness around the injury itself. For us in Bermuda, we are looking to also promote awareness on resources that are here on island, especially for those that do not have the ability to get off island. And then also to talk about prevention, how you can prevent brain injury or even prevent secondary brain injury.
Okay.
Well, in doing some research for our conversation today, I didn't know that there are two types of brain injuries. I think we use the blanket statement of traumatic brain injury all the time, but can you explain to us what they are?
Sure. So there are, I guess, two categories: traumatic brain injury and non-traumatic brain injury. Traumatic brain injury is likely to occur following like a blunt force trauma or motor vehicle accident. Think of fall down the stairs, abuse, um, stroke, brain tumor would be forms of non-traumatic brain injury. And actually spoke with a lady the other day that suffered a brain aneurysm as a result of high blood pressure. So there are sort of two categories, and then obviously they range from mild through to severe. Mild forms of brain injury might be something like a concussion. More severe forms of brain injury might be something like a diffuse axonal injury, which is likened to shaken baby syndrome.
Thank you for that, because as I said, I think all of this time, and many people probably have called everything a traumatic brain injury. So thank you for that explanation. Your theme this year is more than my brain injury. What is the aim for this campaign?
So I think when people, and I caveat this with, I'm not a brain injury survivor. I'm a caregiver, so I'm on one side of the fence, and my son and others in his position are on the other side. Once the physical wounds heal, it's the stuff that lingers beneath the surface, which is why we say brain injury is invisible. You can't see the sort of struggles, such as issues with short-term memory, cognitive function, speech, perhaps how you interact socially. People don't see that, and then maybe they'll judge you. So the more than my brain injury is, I'm more than that. I'm still a person. I can still do things. I can still contribute. They're not alone in it. There's a lot of people that suffer with brain injury and the long-lasting effects of brain injury as well.
Interesting. And I don't think that we champion or are able to see past or can't see it. So we automatically make assumptions about things that we possibly shouldn't. How can we change that narrative of brain injuries on the island? I think brain injuries are probably more prominent than we tend to believe. So how can we change that narrative for everyone?
I mean, we were trying to get some stats for you. The number of motor vehicle accidents here resulting in head injury is significant. And we tend to look at people, like I said, once the wounds have healed, as they're fine, and things like anxiety and depression, and all the things that sort of follow that you don't even think of. They kind of linger. In changing the narrative around brain injury, I think a huge part of this is going to be education. So I'll just drop two little sound bites now. One is we're looking at holding a education session through Evolution, and bringing together occupational therapists, speech therapists, physical therapists, psychologists, even just to sort of get around the table and answer any questions that anybody might have regarding brain injury and the services that they might need. So we're looking to do that towards the end of the month, and we'll post that date and time on our Facebook site, and we'll probably push that out through various media channels as well. There's also a support group, an in-person support group meeting for brain injury survivors taking place on Saturday, March 19th at 3 p.m. We'll post further details on that on our Facebook site, as well as pushing that out through various media outlets. But another part of it is just making people aware of the resources that we have on island. I mean, these resources are anywhere from pharmacies like Total Health, where you sort of get that tailored sort of consultative experience with your pharmacist, all the way through to, people like Sandra, who I'm so grateful joined today, because Sandra's got a wealth of experience in dealing with patients that have neuro challenges, and it really is very specialized. And I don't want to sort of steal the mic for the entire show. I think Sandra should also speak to her experiences with dealing with patients. She's certainly seen a lot, and would have some valuable input here as well.
Oh, don't worry. I was having her come up right after you.
Go ahead,
And
Miss Thornhill.
I was going to ask the same question, Miss Sandra. What are the challenges that you see on our island in regards to your role, and how are you there to be able to assist with those for people who have brain injuries?
First of all, I'm going to say that I'm on my way out of the profession.
No.
A long time. But it's always been my go-to, because I had a cousin who was neurologically challenged, and I wanted to find out how I can help her. So it comes from within. That caring component has to come within. I see so many of my colleagues who are really in it for the quick buck, into orthopedics. They push their clients in and out of the clinics. I tell them, I'm not a half-hour girl. I'm going to give you my devoted time, right? So whatever that client needs, I give them. And that's always listening to the client, referring them to other colleagues who I know has the specialties. I can't answer everything, but as Helen says, there's occupational therapy as well as speech and language pathology. It's not just the expressive language, but it's how that person interprets what they hear and how do they give that response. Helping them to deal with their anger, because it's a grieving process that people go through. No one head injury is the same. And once you have a head injury, you are not the same individual. So it's also helping the client to deal with that change. And I see my young client, who's done extremely well, by the way. I can't wait for him to go back to Boston for his follow-up, Helen. Because I know they're going to be surprised at how well he's doing. So, what can I say? What else to hear?
I mean, I'm gonna toot Sandra's horn. She's an absolute godsend to us on a personal level. Just the expertise and the knowledge and the things that she's been able to accomplish with David has just been phenomenal. I think we should all sort of protest about retirement. I don't think you're ready yet, Sandra.
Hey, girl.
I'm not ready.
I don't even know you, Miss Sandra, but you're not ready, because I got something for you.
She's not ready at all. But it's true what Sandra said about speech therapy and other therapies. Like, I mean, we're kind of thrown in the deep end as parents. You get the call, you pick up, you go to the hospital, you're kind of in a comfortable, I say comfortable, nothing's really comfortable about it, but you're surrounded by experts who know what they're doing, and then you kind of go home. And you're very much in the deep end with no real training or experience. And having people like Sandra around and other therapists on island, it's a very steep learning curve as a parent and a caregiver. Things that you don't even think about. The eating types of foods and why they might sort of eat the same foods over and over again, sort of the textural things. All the strategies to help with memory and speech. These are things that you really don't think about, you kind of take for granted. And for those that are fortunate enough to get off of island, it's a different ball game. For those that don't have the ability to get off island, we really wanted to raise awareness that there are hidden gems like Sandra here. There are people on island. Every brain injury is different and every recovery is different. But the most crucial thing is getting those resources in and getting your recovery underway as soon as possible following the accident, or following the sustained injury, so that you better your chances of recovery. And there are good resources locally, and we just want to create awareness around that as well.
And with that being said, where can Bermuda find you guys? Because I'm just finding you, so I'm upset. But where can everyone find you, and how can they participate in this campaign?
So we have a Bermuda TBI survivors and their caregivers/families Facebook page at the moment. And I'm happy to share my phone number and my email address for anybody who wants to find out more. We didn't go the route of charity this time for a number of reasons. Our options this time were just to raise awareness around it. So I think that would be your first port of call to find out more information, would be share my email and phone number, and point the link to the Bermuda TBI Facebook site. We have a file on there with names and contact details for therapists on island and resources on island. We're going to be holding more support group sessions for caregivers and survivors, and just sharing words of encouragement and support for people that are going through it.
All righty. Thank you so much for that. And I'd like to say, I think when anyone is ending their career, or the career is coming to an end, I think seeing them being celebrated for the work they do, the way that Miss Sandra, you're being celebrated, says how much of an impact you've made in a space that is needed. So I don't know you beyond this, but I appreciate you already. And I hope that there's someone else coming behind you that offers the same level of service that Bermuda needs. So thank you both for having this. And please know that as you have things coming up, as it relates to information and events that we can assist with, please reach out, and we'll do our best to make sure that our audience is aware and able to support any way they can. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And wishing you a great weekend and healing energy and vibes to your son.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Helen Carr, Sandra Thornhill, folks. Thanks again to both of them. This was a great conversation. It's one of those things where it's important for us to learn about it before we need it.
Yeah.
It's important for us to really try to, I guess, if you don't know, you don't know. And
right.
The truth is, I learned a lot of stuff from my mom's experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it weren't for her experience, I just would not have known about what people who are dealing with relatives who going through cancer go through. So, folks, I think this is a case of really learn about things before you need things. If you appreciated that conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to take a quick break. Come back, close it out. We're going to do a giveaway as well. So just stick with us. We're going to do a giveaway. You don't want to miss it. And we have some huge announcements coming up, and I'll speak to those when we get back. All right. Stick with us.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. with professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security. There's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All right. Thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy, Medical House, and Lindos for ensuring we're able to do this for you. And also, thank you to Helen Cart once again and Sandra Thornhill for joining us for a very important conversation that our community should be very aware of. A lot of buzz coming from Sherry's end there, but it's just probably in her motel there. I'm just saying. Folks, it's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sherry, what you got for me? We'll wrap it up after this. What you got for me?
What is considered the first reality TV show?
The first reality TV show, that thing that came on MTV, right?
What's that name of that thing? Come on, Jamal.
I didn't watch TV, but it was that with the young people on MTV. I forget the name of it.
Because she didn't say the name, but she was in the right ballpark. It's called The Real World.
Yeah, that's the one.
And what was the best?
I'm gonna give myself a song. Hold on.
No, I couldn't get Black Rose. You can't get them people.
I was giving myself a wrong song, mate.
Oh, what was the best-selling video game console of the 1990s? You should get that.
Nintendo.
More specific.
What do you mean it's more specific?
Video game console. The console.
Yeah, Nintendo.
No.
Well, what was it?
Sony PlayStation.
Oh, PlayStation. I thought that came out in 2000s. My bad. Everybody's saying Nintendo. Right?
Wow, you're wrong.
Oh, come on, Marquita. You going back to the 70s or 80s. Atari? That's like the 70s or 80s. Come on.
That was
right. What's your final question, lady?
And how old was Notorious B.I.G. when he was murdered? Because he did die this month.
In 1997, March, was it like March 7th or 8th, 1997?
Yes.
Come
on, carry the one.
He was definitely like 20. If Tupac was 25, he was about 27.
No. But I like the thought process. He was younger. He was 24.
24, yeah. Tupac was 25. I thought he was older than Tupac. My apologies, but
yeah,
wow. Yeah, I can't believe has been going that long.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I remember.
Hold up, folks. I got look. Let me just say this: when you hang around people,
whatever,
trying to pick up on their habits, and that's what's happened.
You hung around Larry all week, and what happened?
Well, Larry got
exactly.
He got real well, but again, you came back and then.
Yeah, but you've been around him all week, so today you should have got things together. But nevertheless, what's your final thoughts on today's show?
You tell me. I don't know. Let me take my shot. You're driving me to drink, lady.
That.
Yeah. What you got, Sherry? What you got?
You want inspiration or what do you want?
Give us some good, bad, and ugly.
Oh, good. Can you tell my energy is up? Just like I exercised this morning, and what have I been doing with my life? Everybody needs to be doing that. Exercise, and I've bbeen saying it for a while. So consistency has been my issue. So today is day one with trying to be more consistent. Bad, of course, is the former ugly. Well, I was going to say Jesse Smollett, but ugly was Ryan Coogler, who Black Panther dealt with being arrested because they thought he was a bank robber. To hear the 911 call, you got to hear that. Says so. I think he's just trying to be discreet, but okay, we'll send the police. So check that out. But,
check that out, folks. Any final thoughts on today's show?
Definitely. I think one of the audience members says, think it before you post, and really have some empathy on what it is that you are trying to put out there. Empathy means put yourself in other people's shoes, in case you didn't know. And then I appreciate Miss Sandra and Helen coming on and explaining what brain injury is for Brain Injury Awareness Month. Not everything's a traumatic brain injury, everybody. We've just been told that information. And there's valid and reasonable resources out there for us to utilize. So take advantage of it.
Yeah, agreed. I want to go back to the top where honestly, just think before you post. You don't have to post everything you think. You don't have to respond to every argument that you're invited to. You don't have to be so insensitive, and you don't have to be a jackass. Ask me how I know. Folks,
Dang.
it's that easy. I'm grateful to both Helen Cart and Miss Sandra Thornhill. These conversations need to happen because we need to know before we need the information. It's nothing like knowing. You never know when you're going to need information like this. So again, grateful to have them. I did promise that before we go, we have a winner for last week's Facebook trivia question. So if you follow us on Facebook, you would know there was a question. So congrats to Renee Sherilyn Simmons. She is the winner of this week's prize, a $25 gift card to One Communication. So audience, you know what we do. Congratulate Renee Sherilyn Simmons on getting the answer right. Last week's question, I believe, was which former premier has not been on the Daily Hour, and the choices were Sir John Swan, Dame Jennifer Smith, Dr. the Honorable Hugh Brown, and the Honorable Paula Cox. And the answer was Dame Jennifer Smith. So if you'd like a chance at winning, please make sure you answer our weekend trivia questions over the weekend. There will be another one this weekend. And so that's how you'll become eligible. So congrats again to Renee Sherilyn Simmons. You are the winner. And folks, make sure you are sharing these conversations and subscribing to our stuff for a chance to win. You don't know, it could be you next. And we have some announcements coming up. So you want to make sure you subscribe to get these emails this weekend that will be going out. So thanks again to our partners, Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you. We love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you on Monday. Sherry Vanderpool, I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, make it a safe and great weekend. Big week coming up next week. I think we've got Tweed and Reverend Tweed's coming, and we have same-sex ruling on Monday. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So enjoy your weekend. It's a lot to do next week. Peace.